First in line here, this is for the nature lovers. There is a very large park called the Adirondack Park. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but there's a large article here written by Gwendolyn Craig, and this comes from Adirondack Explorer. And there is a debate because every 5 years they update their rules and regulations, and they're having difficulty with the following. Debate heats up over accessibility in Adirondack Park wilderness areas. So, accessibility, Adirondack Park Agency, Adirondack Park State Land Master Plan. So they're updating their master plan, and there are questions about allowing four-wheelers in the park for those, especially for those who have disabilities, so they can come and enjoy the park. However, there are concerns about, wearing down certain areas. So that is what the article is all about. I appreciate Gwendolyn writing the article. So the master plan governs about 2.7 million acres of forest preserve lands and waters and dates to 1972. The APA charged with long-range planning in the 6 million acre park revises this document about every 5 years, so how they're going to take care of the park. And now we have people with disabilities who would like to enjoy the park. And so there's all kinds of questions about, how do we do this without impacting the park itself? So, my statement is, you block things off, areas off if you have a project going on. So, and allow the people with disabilities to enjoy other sections of the park. Simple. You don't have to go into a full argument. But I'm leaving the article here for you. Down below, you'll find the link so that you can read the whole article, especially those who are nature lovers and love to go to parks. And if you live near the Adirondack Park, feel free to catch up on this article that was written on December 13th, 2024. So it's pretty new. All right, here from the BBC. An article written by Daisy Stephens. The title is My Friends and I Can't Get the Bus Together. And this is a very strange article here. For many people, getting the bus is an easy way to travel around with their friends. But for wheelchair users, it can be much more difficult. Francisca Lane, a wheelchair user who lives in the Arborfield Wokingham, said when she meets up with the friends who also use wheelchairs, they have to get on separate buses and meet at their destination because buses cannot carry more than one wheelchair. Reading buses said they could, Reading buses said they could only carry one for safety reasons. But Miss Lane said more needed to be done to help make travel more accessible to everyone. So this is a whole article about buses and the dispute about why can't you carry more than one wheelchair user at a time. And so it's interesting, They said it was very rare for the wheelchair space to be occupied, and providing additional wheelchair bays would mean they had to reduce handrails and seats. So that this is the both sides of the situation. So this is an interesting article to read. Because we might face that somewhere in the United States. I don't know. I suspect this is in the UK. So for those who are in the UK, you can catch up with this article written by Daisy Stephens. We appreciate that. And I will put the article down below in the description so that you can catch up on the situation there with the buses. All right, so this comes from the KTVZ.com, and it's called Stacker News. This was written by Stacker. I guess there might be staff writing this article, but assisted living options for wheelchair users. And this is really important for all of you to know. If you're going into an assisted living, such as myself, the ADA does apply for most of them. If they are a privately owned assisted living, this might not apply. They might find ways and loopholes to get around the ADA. But other institutions in assisted living are under the state regulation, not under Fed, but the ADA still applies. So assisted living options for wheelchair users. If you are sufficiently independent and only need some light help, like with laundry and medication management, those kind of things, assisted living might be for you. But if you have severe memory problems and you need to be picked up and transferred, all those kind of things, and more heavy duty, the nursing home, due to financial issues, will be much better probably for you. So I know some of us fight and we don't want to be in a nursing home, but if you need more help, then it would probably be a nursing home. And this article explains it well. Until the early 1990s, federal laws protecting the rights of people with disabilities were not always enforced. However, in 1990, the federal government passed the American with Disabilities Act, or ADA, which overhauled the country's building practices. But some assisted living facilities use state laws as a loophole. So some state regulations contain vague or outdated language, and facilities have exploited these regulations to avoid accepting residents who use wheelchairs. Discriminatory practices against wheelchair users can now be challenged, as it is a violation of the ADA. So this happened to me. I wasn't in the process of looking for another place, but I was visiting some places, and this one particular nursing home, which name I will not mention, could reject wheelchair users because they were private and they could get around the ADA. So there are some key takeaways in what is assisted living versus nursing homes. So I think this is a very important article for all of us to catch up on and understand the differences between the financial, especially, depending on your care and how much you have to weigh. You really have to weigh your options and to know how strong is the ADA in these institutions and how can they help you, assisted living versus nursing home, or assisted living with an aide coming into your facility and helping you a little bit more than what the facility can offer. So that's what this article is about. I encourage all of you to read it, especially if you live in the United States. These topics are of importance because a lot of us, I understand, we live in buses or we live in very small, cramped apartments in facilities that are not, or apartments that are not conducive for our health. So, and we need a little bit more companionship. So this will give you some information and some tools to work with if you are looking at assisted living and need to look at the differences that are really present between assisted living and nursing homes. So you don't see them as all negative, but it has to do also with funding your funds and the institution's funds to be able to help you. So I will post that down below. Again, it's called Assisted Living Options for Wheelchair Users. And again, I think that's an important one to take a look at. I will leave the link down below. You don't have to use this particular article. You can clip and paste the title and do a wider search. But this is, I find this article very important for all of us. All right, folks, that is it for Pieces of News. If you've been here for the first time, my name is Lisa, and we do Pieces of News every Tuesday. And for the month of December, we have a little bit more videos talking about, Christmas and some suggestions. So everybody causing some more injury to ourselves. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.